All right, there we
All
go.
right, good. All right, welcome everyone to this beautiful Sunday morning, the Mother's Day of 2021. And we're embracing all mothers in both realms, our real or physical mothers, our cosmic mothers. So much love to the mother of this world. And today we are here at Bisea Spiritual Healing Center, where we meet every Sunday in order to study and heal. And before we begin our beautiful service, we will ask who's doing the opening prayer. Kiki, do you know, or is it anyone?
It was supposed to be Dave, but since he's not here, we can open if anyone would like to do the opening prayer.
Yes, is there anyone who would like to volunteer for the opening prayer this morning?
I'll do it.
All right, Regina, thank you so much.
Let us close our eyes. Take a deep breath and let us connect to the earth. And in our mind, let us connect to the divine light. And from this light, let us say hello to Mother, Father God, to our beloved Jesus Christ, to all of the good spirits who come to join us and support us. And we ask our Heavenly Father to bless our union with His divine grace and protection. With much love, let us open our heart with love for each other, for coming to connect on this blessed day. Giving thanks to nature and the fresh air, we ask our Heavenly Father to bless the opening of our service today. And may our minds be open to hear what we need as nourishment and as food. Thank you, Father, and so be it.
Thank you so much, dear sister. Thank you for this beautiful prayer. Here we are at Bisea Spiritual Healing Center. We're a non-denominational spiritist center. Anyone with any belief is always welcome. We have many different classes, almost daily, I want to say. It starts off with Mondays, where we have, by invitation, our rescue work and our study of the gospel currently. Tuesdays, we have the Divine Light group meeting, and we're studying Jesus in the home. And also we're doing, in cooperation with Bisea Spiritual Healing Center, or Bisea Spiritual Healing Center in cooperation with Divine Light, our inner transformation classes that are still ongoing every first and third Tuesday of the month from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Then we have Wednesdays, our counseling sessions, our spirit counseling sessions. So whoever feels they wanted to get a healing and talk about what is happening in their lives, please feel free to contact us. It starts at 6 p.m., correct? And we have several of our members who are available to provide this service. Thursdays, we have our sister Duska, who is offering the study of the Spirits book from 6:30 to 7:30, also on Zoom. Fridays, we have the study of our brother Mark, and it is Spiritism and Music. And it starts, and please correct me if the times are not all correct, because I'm operating off of my memory, which is a little spotty at times. And I'm sure our sister Kiki will post all the different classes in the chat where you will have the correct information. But please correct me if I'm not saying something correctly. So Fridays from, I think, 6:30 to 7:30, our brother Mark is doing the music class and music and spiritism. And then Saturdays, I believe every other Saturday, Brother Robbie is offering Introduction to Spiritism. Is that correct? And then Sundays, every other Sunday, we also have a class by our brother, we studied, Brian. What is he offering?
Introduction to Spiritism.
Oh, okay, so what is my okay? Anyway, please don't listen to me, but but read the chat because that will give you the real information. Anyway, we have a lot of classes and we're excited about them. And please join us. They're on Zoom and you have the link. So anyone is welcome anytime. And today we're really grateful and looking forward to Tania, who will be giving a talk on chapter 10. And I have the information here. It is entitled, Blessed Are the Merciful. What an appropriate subject for today, Mother's Day. And let me introduce Tania. Tania is a natural born medium from Brazil who has helped others with her spiritual gifts and mediumship since childhood. At 11 years old, she discovered her connection with the teachings of Christ through the study and teaching of the Catechism in the Catholic Church. When Tania was 26 years old, she was inspired by a book about Chico Xavier's life and decided to pursue the study of Spiritism at a local Spiritist center. For more than 20 years, Tania has been spreading and teaching Spiritism with simplicity and love wherever she goes. Her goal is always the same: to elevate her own soul while helping others to become better servants of Christ. Tania is a founding member and vice president of the Brazilian Spiritual Healing Center and co-founder of Brazilian Spiritual Healing. Let us welcome our dear sister Tania. Thank you so much, Tania.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for having me here today. And in this beautiful day of mothers, that of our gratitude for being a mother. I believe this is a gift from God, is one of the most important gifts that we have received in this lifetime. It is the gift of being a mother and a different way to be a mother. From the presentation today, Blessed are the Merciful. Like our dear Sunshine said, what a beautiful time to be talking today. Who is more the blessed in all of us than are the mothers? Because from today, the chapter today, that Kardec have been giving us the opportunity to evaluate how to be merciful and what Jesus want to teach us through this, the Sermon of the Mountains. Blessed are the merciful. So I invite all of you to come with me and be on these little teachings of Jesus on the earth to us. And we will going together with Kardec. Allan Kardec, it is the codificator of the spiritualist doctrine. And he wrote the spiritual book first. He organized, now putting together all the almost 1,000 questions from the spiritualist book. But he kept secret for years, planning the gospel according to spiritism. What did Kardec planned to do the gospel according to spiritism? And as you go through all the chapter, the 27th chapter of the gospel according to spiritism, we will see that he was very carefully, as a great scientist and teacher and master that he was, he putting together in this doctrine all the science, the philosophy, but without that together would not survive to our days without the touch of the Christ, the teachings of the Christ. So the gospel, he was very careful to organize, to as a great teacher, master he was, putting everything together. And from the 27 chapters of the gospel according to spiritism, he chose the Sermon of the Mountain, the chapter on Matthew from chapter 5 to 7, and many others he putting together. But we will see most of the gospel according to spiritism was organized, the observation from Kardec to the Sermon of the Mountain. And he was so meticulous, so wise, and so genius that he even hide the studying, the preparation of the gospel according to spiritism from his wife, Emily. Because He doesn't want to create a situation or people start to give opinion on that time. In France, they were called the intellectual of that time in the world. And they don't want to create any expectation or doubts or different opinions from others. He even hide that organization of the writing and organize of the Gospel according to Spiritism from Emily, his wife. And he separates that in two parts. He's studying from the New Testament and from the apostles' writings and notes, and his evaluation and his own. He have great point of views that he brought for what the humankind is doing. Why you come here on earth? Why we need reincarnate here so many times? Have you made that question to yourself? Why are you here on earth? What is the need of reincarnation? How many times you have been coming here and why we have been here? What you are doing here on earth, what we are doing here on earth. Can someone answer?
Yes, because we're here to purify ourselves, to learn new lessons, to undo past wrongs, to revisit all the duties that we've omitted fulfilling in our previous incarnations.
Exactly. So we are here to evolve. We come here to evolve. And how and where we come from? Let's see other person to answer. I appreciate you, Sunshine. Let's see other to answer. Where we have come from?
Well, we are reincarnating from past lives, so we can come from either a more evolved world or a less evolved world. Since planet Earth is a planet of trials and expiation, I would guess that I came from a less evolved world. Or even from planet Earth, right? I can even come from the same planet.
So as a spirit, thank you, Kiki. As a spirit, we came from the erraticities of the words and different dimensions and different words as a spirit, because we are spiritual beings. So we come from the spiritual world and from different dimensions in the spiritual life. So what we are doing here, our dear Sunshine already said, we come here to evolve. And how do we evolve? Anyone? How do we evolve? Gina? Oh, sorry.
I would say by developing our intellectual, our mental, our spiritual, our morals, through the experiences that we're exposed to that challenges us to evolve, to seek better solutions for the challenge that we faced.
Exactly. Thanks so much, Charles. And exactly, how do we evolve? Through our studying of intellectuality. We must study, we must learn. But the most important is moral evolving. Morally, we need to be pure. We will see today and why we need to be pure, to clean ourselves, because our impurities bring us here on earth many, many, many times. And we will see in the chapter today. And what we are having this blessed opportunity to be here on earth So we come here on earth to evolve, and evolve in what we need to evolve: intellectual and moral. And what is the best way to take opportunity of this incarnation? We must study. We must study, and above all, to practice and evolve morally. We have to understanding that inner transformation. All the genius, all the masters have passing through earth, they talk about know thyself. So without knowing ourselves, we cannot really, really grow morally, because we will not have the will to change if we do not know who we are, or the need of change if you do not know why that needs, what the needs for evolving. If you do not recognize your defects to correct them. So do we reincarnate on earth in any time to kill others? To kill ourselves? No. So we will see, because the law of love is universal. Our Heavenly Father, the great Father of all of us, did not create us to kill anyone else or ourselves. He created us and gave us the opportunity to be back and forth many times, to expand our love, to learn how to love. And the love is so important in these lessons of our moral and intellectual, because it's only through love that we will go from the lower dimensions to the higher dimensions, to the lower, the very lower worlds to the higher worlds, to have a life of atonements and sufferings to a happy life. It is only through love. Without that, we cannot go anywhere. So let's start here on the blessed are the merciful. Jesus came to earth to teach us to love, to morally know ourselves, to morally understand our soul. Because our spirit come to earth to graduate. This is a huge school that we have this blessed opportunity. And blessed are the mothers again for accepting to bring the sons and daughters of God to earth, to evolve, to have gave us the opportunity to be here, to be a better son or to be a better daughter of God. I believe as a mother that none other mothers have brought, say yes to God or to Jesus or to our souls to bring us here to be a criminal. They all have the best wish and the best desires for us to be a better servant, to better son, and to be a better daughter of God, to do our best here on earth. So blessed are the mother because they are merciful. They have been showing their mercy to us, whatever they are in their defects and their qualities. They gave us the opportunity to be here. So blessed are the mothers for being merciful with our souls. On the Gospel according to Spiritism, on the chapter 10, we'll be studying forgive others so that God may forgive you. reconciliation with your adversaries, the sacrifice most agreeable to God, the mote and the beam in the eye. Do not judge others if you do not wish to be judged in return. He that is without sin, let him be the first to cast a stone. And we will see in the second part the instruction from the spirits, the pardoning of the offenses, indulgence. It is permitted to reprehend, observe imperfections, or to comment on their evil in others. So we will see here that the spirit, Kardec collect from the mediums all over the world. By that time, he was collecting all the messages from the mediums all over the world and putting them together with the organization that he was doing with the Gospel according to Spiritism. So if you have heard that it was said, you shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I said to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, so that you may be sons of your Father who is in heaven. For he makes his sun rise in the evil and on the good, and sends rain to the just and to unjust. For if you love those who love you, what reward do you have? So let's hear again, bringing to the family, to the mothers, the tie that came together as a family. But this you see the importance of the mothers on being God's service. They will be unite souls to be together as enemies from other times, and bringing them to be brothers and sisters. And even our mothers from other times, they wanted to correct any hateful messages from the past, to be in service of God, to love us, to give us this opportunity to be here together and to reunite with our enemies from the past. So how blessed again are our mothers. My family, we are 2 brothers and 5 sisters. And my mother's family, they are 4 brothers and 4 sisters. So, wow, my grandmother was a mother of 13, or 8 survived. So what an opportunity that we all have together to bring to the tide of the families. But have you ever think that the mother, the father, the siblings, the grandparents, all the family together have some situation from the past, and God gave the opportunity of the motherhood and the familyhood to be together, to us to get from the beginning, growing together, knowing each other, to be able to forgive the offense from the other lives, the other mistakes, the other times. Thank God we were born, and God turned off that memories on our soul, so we don't need to remember. Sometimes we feel the animosity, the indifference, or sometimes we say, I like my friend much more, and I have much more affinity with strange than my own family, my own brothers or sisters. I have been different situations like that, but what a great opportunity of reconciliation with our enemies that our father, mother give to us. to be in the family together with them and bringing other souls to help us to make peace among us. Because he said, for he make his sun rise, and for if you love those who love you, what reward do you have? Because sometimes we don't love our family, but most of the time we support them. We are there for them. Reconciliation with your adversaries. Settle matters quickly with your adversary who is taking you to court. Do it while you are still together on the way, or your adversary may hand you over to the judge, and the judge may hand you over to the officer, and you may thrown into prison. What is the prison, my beloved brothers and sisters? What is the prison we are? This is the prison here on the earth. This is the prison on the physical body. This is the prison we come together as a prisoners because the judge has sent us to earth again. The judge has sent us to reconciliate with our family, our earthly family, our blood family, because we'll be reunited with so many that we have been vengeful against them in other lives, and God putting us together to reconciliation. And Kardec, very wisely, he even used that mercy is a complement to mildness, because the person who is not merciful cannot be mild and pacific. Mercy consists of being able to forget and forgive all offense. Hate and rancor denotes a spirit without any elevation or magnanimity. Being able to forget offense is the mark of an elevated soul, which does not perturb itself with the blows it may be dealt. The one is always anxious, of a dark susceptibility and full of bitterness, while the other is calm, full of sweetness and charity. How wise it was Kardec and making these notes, calling our attention, the opportunity to take the opportunity while we are here walking with each other to reconcile with each other. Who owe to those who say that will never forgive. So that is not the way to reconciliation without forgiveness. We need to learn ourselves to recognize our defects, our imperfections, our duties, to understand the others. Because Kardec separate the two ways of us. One is sweet, charitable, and the other is anxious, ambitious, proudful, and bitterness. And he said here very wisely that the elevate soul is the one who is intellectual, who have developing that intellectuality and morally evolved. Only those will be able to forgive from their heart the mistake that others repetitively have committed against themselves. Only those will be the elevate souls that will be really show mercy, that will be merciful. However, there are two very different ways of forgiving. The first is noble and great, truly generous, without any hidden thoughts, which delicately avoid hurting the self-esteem and susceptibility of the adversary, even when that same adversary has no justification for his or her acts. The second, and the second, on the other hand, is when someone who has been offended or thinks they have been offended impose humiliating conditions on the supposed adversary. So making felt the weight of the pardon, which can only cause further irritation instead of calming. Or where, upon offering a hand to the offended, this is done not with benevolence, but rather with ostentation, so that the person may say to others, "Look, how generous I am." In these circumstances, a sincere reconciliation is quite impossible for either one. No, no, here there is no generosity, only a form of satisfying pride. In every dispute, the one who shows him or herself to be more conciliatory, who demonstrate more disinterest, charity, and real greatness of soul, will always attract sympathy from those who are impartial. So here's a point for us to understand what Jesus said, the speck and the beam in the eye. Why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eyes and pay no attention to the plank in your own eye? So it's much easier for us to judge others, to point fingers, to see others' defect, or to bring messages to serve to others because we see their defects and their weaknesses, and so we'll be bringing a message or writing message just to serve for them, but we cannot see the plank in our own eyes. The reconciliation, again with our adversary. I took this note from Kardec. In the act of pardon is in general practice of good, that is not only a moral effect, but also a material effect. As is already known, death does not liberate us from our enemies. Vengeful spirit in the afterlife frequently pursue all those for whom they bear rancor with great hate. From this, we understand the falsity of proverb, the poison dies with the beast, when it's applied to mankind. What Jesus and even Kardec make effort of these notes. Reconciliate with your adversary. Why are you walking? Why are you still with him here on earth? If your brothers and sisters have causing ours any pain, any humiliation, or have been taking advantage of us, take the opportunity, while we are here on earth with them, to forgive our mother, to forgive our father. I still even think today from the Mother's Day, and that I said, the merciful mothers that do not know us spiritually very well and brought us to reincarnate on earth. We do not know the degree of criminality we have or what we have committed against them. And we brought them, they brought us here on earth, and their mother brought them too. So, what is a great opportunity to reconcile the reconciliation with them, to walk with our brothers on earth that is close as a family. But my beloved brothers and sisters, the most important to us to know as spiritists, as we know when our adversary, they died, and we have not forgiven them or tried to reconcile with them, we know then go to the spiritual world. They will never die. We are spiritual beings. We never die. So Jesus wisely call our attention to say, reconciliate with your adversary, and by the time you're walking, you have the opportunity, because coming back here on earth is not easy. And stay here is not easy either. But reconciliate with your adversary while you are still together on the way. Or your adversary may hand you over to the judge. We must practice forgiveness. We must understand how to educate our soul, and we must work on our moral transformation. If you still have resentment from brothers and sisters or parents, that resentment will be poison our blood and cells and organs, and will make us weak, because the resentment thoughts will be manifest in the area of our body that will call our attention, even in the eyes, in the ears, the stomach, the lungs, and so on, in the heart. So if you have some illness, ask yourself, who I am being resentful with? Ask it to yourself. If you have think that you have been forgive those who have been anger or have been doing badly to you, and you have been forgive them, but I don't want to walk with them, I don't forget what they have done with me, think about them right now. Feel in your heart if you truly, truly have forgive. If you think in that person or those situations, if you feel your heart in peace, if you look to that person in front of you right now, if your heart is calm, you truly forgive. But if your heart is still pumping hardly, in some kind of animosity still feeling, you have to work. You need to work closely and insistently until you completely clean your heart from this. As we are seeing here, the sacrifice most agreeable to God. Therefore, if you are offering your gift at the altar, and there remember that your brother or sister has something against you, leave your gift there in front of the altar. First, go and be reconciled to them. Then, come and offer your gift. What a beautiful way that our Lord Jesus call our attention of this. When he said here, look, I love Kardec. I love Kardec. I love his wisdom, his wise. I really love his intellectual intelligence. Listen what he said. The true Christian, however, does not offer material gifts to God. Since our sacrifice has been spiritualized, and with this, the precept has gained even more strength. He offers, what is the gift that Kardec call our attention right here? We offer our soul to God. He offers his soul to God, and his soul has to be purified. So, my beloved brothers and sisters, the gift that Jesus asks us to give to God is our pure heart, is our soul in peace. Why we came back to earth? What we are doing here on earth? Why we are here now? To learn how to progress, to learn how to love, to manifest love. And it is not other way to reconciliate with our adversaries. The adversaries within us, the old patterns, the old personalities. So that is the only way that we will understand others' old personalities, old patterns. And then to grow, to elevate, to understand that we have been walking the same path. We have been in the same way they are, but they are child. They do not know better yet. So they cannot be, we have to find a level of evolution that will not be offended by anybody else, because we will be in an elevation matter that we understand those who still do not know the truth, those who still do not know the truth, love. So when we go and we watch in our heart the feelings that we have to anyone else have been disturbing us, and if our heart is filled of love or peace or harmony, we really have forgive them. But let we do not lie to ourselves, that we not pretend, that we be truthful to ourselves, because only us is the one who can point fingers to judge. Only us have the power to understand and to know the truth, if we've been truthful to our own selves. So the true Christian, however, does not offer material gifts to God, since our sacrifice has been spiritualized, and with this the precept has gained even more strength. He offers his soul to God, and his soul has to be purified. Those upon entering the temple of God, man should leave all feelings of hate and animosity outside, including evil thoughts against his fellow man. Only in this manner will the angels take his prayers and place them at the feet of the eternal Father. This is what Jesus was teaching when he said, leave then your gift before the altar and go first and be reconciled with your brother if you wish to be agreeable to the Lord. Again, how merciful have you been? Do not judge others if you do not wish to be judged in return. Do not judge, or you too will be judged. That is the law, is the cause and effect. There is a universal law. Whatever I do to others, I might allow the others to do unto myself. For in the same way you judge others, you will be judged. And with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. So let we practice this law in ourselves. In any other situations, let we always remember that. Am I judge? What I'm judging here? Why I'm judging this? Would you be willing to receive the judgment in return to yourself? To others, to point finger to yourself, to your defects, whatever you're doing. Would you be happy to receive the judgment in return to yourself? So let we meditating always, because we have the power. The power is within us to make the judgment, express to others. We can make the only evaluation ourselves before we present to others, because after we do so, we are open to any consequences, good or bad. Kiki, I don't have my watch here close to me.
Can you? It's 10 to 11.
Okay.
If you can do like 10 minutes.
Okay, so the instructions from the spirits. The instructions from the spirit: Joseph, a protecting spirit; John, Bishop of Bordeaux; the Febre, sunshine, you're good in French, sorry. The Fetre, Bishop of Nevers.
Yeah, du Fetre.
The Fetre. Saint Louis, Simon, and Paul of the Apostles. The pardoning of offenses. From the Spirit Simon: you must forgive without limit. You must forgive each offense as many times it is done to you. Emmanuel advised someone who asked Chico how many times they have to forgive, and Chico said 7 times 7 is 449 times. And then, oh, I have done this, and the person told Chico, I haven't done more than that, so I'm free. I can let my husband go, can divorce him or whatever. And Emmanuel told Chico, be cautious. Jesus said, each offense, 449 times each offense, each one of them. So if you ask yourself, if I say, no, it happened repetitively, the same mistake, the same situation, ask yourself, they have done the same mistake 449 times to you, the same? If yes, have you forgive 449 times the same mistakes? So Jesus said here to be merciful. And when they ask here, when Pedro said that Peter came to Jesus and asked, Lord, how many times shall I forgive my brother when he sins against me? up until 7 times. This is the answer from Jesus. I tell you, not 7 times, but 70 times 7. And Kardec, amazingly, putting more effort here to the mercy to consist in each defect. For us to pardon many times. Does not Jesus teach that mercy must have no limits when he says that each one must forgive their brothers and sisters, no matter 7 times, by 70 times 7. So, and then he call our attention, the difference of forgiveness, the prideful or the merciful. And Paul of Tarsus said, we must learn that it is forgetfulness of self that makes a person invulnerable to attack, misbehaviors, and insults. Your heart must be mild and humble without measuring out your gentleness. You must do whatever you wish the Celestial Father do to you. You must. Whatever you wish the Celestial Father do for you. Is he not frequently forgiving you? Has you by any chance counted how many times his pardon has come down to erase your shortcoming? What a great point he taught you, no? How many times we ask Father, please forgive my fault. I sin again. I make a mistake again. And he's not so been merciful with us. And why we have not shown mercy to others. And here we have, continue Paul, forgive freely, use your indulgence, be charitable and generous, be lavish with your love. Be lavish with your love. Be generous, no? Give it in abundance to others. Be generous. To be able to forgive offense is to show yourself better than you were. Complete and absolute forgiveness of all offenses is peculiar to great souls. True pardon is recognizable for its acts, rather than the use of mere words. Happy is he who can sleep at night saying, I have nothing against my neighbor. What a blessing. What a great reminder. Because that is why at night I go to bed and I even look in my heart. I breathe. I imagine the person in front of me and I breathe in that energy. And I feel my heart aches. I feel the acheness, the weakness of my heart. And I pray hard again. And I ask my Heavenly Father that night I can go and meet the spirit of my brother or sister to reconciliate with him or her. When I wake up, I ask again, I breathe, and if I still feeling, I will pray for that person the whole day, the whole month, the whole year. Because I really like and I appreciate a good night of sleep. And so if you don't ask, nothing will come to you. But when you know it is too hard to forgive, but ask it for knowledge, ask it for help, ask it to see truthful, ask God to bless you with the spirit of truth, to see the truth of the situation. Ask God to bless you with the spirit of wisdom, so to use the wisdom within us to understand that situation. And ask God to bless you with the spirit of love, so you learn to love that person as she or he is, with their defects and qualities. I would say the indulgence here, it is just, I don't think we have time for that. What is indulgence is? Now, the characteristics of indulgence, of those who are indulgent, that is, who has easy and forgiven the mistake made by other individuals. Indulgence is related to mercy, tolerance, and forgiveness. For all these qualities derive from the act of free someone of a punishment or from a punishment. Etymologically, the term indulgence originates from the Latin indulgentia, meaning kindness, to be kind or forgiveness of a penalty. Indulgence is a very commendable human quality, as it represents kindness and the ability to be tolerant of the action or particularities of others. In the religious sphere, particularly in Catholic doctrine, indulgence is the remission of sins and punishment committed by an individual whose guilt has already been forgiven by the church through mercy. And Charles and I were talking about this in the past, about that time in the Catholic Church before the Reformation. They would sell letters of indulgence for those who has money, could pay them could pay from their sins, and the poor could not pay, would not go to heaven. But thank God, things change. We are here. So indulgence are there cases when it is right to disclose the evil in others. Do for all your brothers and sisters what the Celestial Father do for you. Substitute anger, which only defiles, with love that purifies. Here is all the guidance from the spirits. Preach as Jesus did during all the time. He became visible only to the eyes of the Spirit. Follow this divine example. Follow Jesus' divine example. Walk in his footsteps, for they will conduct you to a refuge offering rest after the fight. Carry all your crosses as Jesus did, painfully, but with courage, and go up to your Calvary, upon whose peak you will find glorification. Let's we follow Jesus' message, teachings, and examples to all of us. Let we love our neighbors as we love ourselves. Let we wish to our neighbors what we wish to ourselves. But above all, my beloved brothers and sisters, let we love God, and understand the law of love. Love God above all, above ourselves. And let we be a good Christian. Let we understand what we are here today. Marlene Nobre, one great spiritist in Brazil, the founder of the magical spiritism movement in Brazil. She wrote many books. She was a great spirit on earth. She said one day Jesus she could look at her and said, you cannot make mistakes in this life. You will be not pardoned. And she said her heart got frozen, and she could felt she was not comfortable hearing that. And then he looked at her, said, you know, always will be pardon there. Our great Father is a love, and always will find pardon. And she said, no, I like what you said before. And that, she said, that was the point of her whole life, because she was born in a family. Her parents was spiritualist. She was born and raised in a spiritualism family. So she could told her, you know better than others. So I would tell you, my beloved brothers and sisters, we already know better than when we start studying the spiritualism doctrine. We already know a little more than we learned before. And we have responsibilities of our moral transformation and our intellectual education. Thank you so much for your time and for listening. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Tania. Our hearts have melted as a result of your talk. It really is very touching. And we've been able to add a few more tools to our toolbox, and we buffed some others. And now we're ready to practice mercy with new dedication, always praying to Jesus and God for more guidance and being more responsible in our daily choices, refraining from pointing the finger and working on our own defects. Thank you so much for the love. We felt it. We're feeling it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tania. You know, it's always good to hear about indulgence and what's behind it and what it really, really means to take indulgence to heart. And I think in the different scenarios about hearing it helps, you know, being merciful and forgiving. You can never do that enough this lifetime, I think, you know, be it with our family or friends. It's constantly revolving, you know, opportunities to learn how to forgive, opportunities to see who you are, because, you know, it's important to know yourself so that you can see your defects. And it's also important to ask yourself, well, how am I feeling? How did this make me feel? And when you were talking about indulgence, that was one of the things that I went through, was how does this making me feel? And then I started going through some of the things in my life that makes me even more so forgiving towards people who have done things to me. And you're right, I couldn't even think of a lot of people. There's only one that came up, but that one is still huge, you know, and I'm sure the next one will come up as I continue, you know, evaluating myself, which is important to do. Anyway, thanks. I enjoyed it so much.
I appreciate that. And one point is good. When you feel that you even pray, reading try to find someone to counsel. Like this, the spiritual centers offer us a great service of fraternal counseling. If it's so difficult for you to find example from Jesus, from his teachings, from the many books that we have, just try to find someone to listen to you, to help you, to guide, or ask for guidance. We are here to help.
Thank you, Tania, for this reminder. Does anyone else have any comments?
May I make one more little thing that you said, Tania, was how this talk is also related to illnesses in our bodies, or how if we don't learn to let go, if we don't learn to forgive and accept where we are, that it can make us sick. That was the other thing I meant to say. Thanks.
And most of the illness come from resentment, unfortunately. And we see come from other lives, the mistakes we commit and the sins that we have to do against others, and the vengeance, the hateness, and the rancor, and all these come to be infected in ourselves. And until we purify it, it's exactly like when Jesus used the example of someone build a house in the sand and someone build the house in the rock. Who Jesus is talking about is the Spirit. Because when the Spirit come to earth, we talk our soul. So our soul will be building a house on the sand. It is the fool, né? Jesus called the fool who build a house in the sand. We need to be wise to build our house in the rock. Build a house in the rock is to manifest the rightness, the golden rules, is to build the Spirit to be based on the golden rules. So the sand is the soul who is inconsequently, does not know, just live, and I want to party, don't care if I hate making anybody suffer. I'm coming here to party, no? So we are building our house in the sand, but the Spirit who want to be evolved and developing the intellectuality and the moral, and then we are building a house in the rock. That's what I understand the message of Jesus. So we start to build our house in the rock instead the sand. Thank you again.
Thank you, Tania. So let us take 5 minutes to switch gears to the healing part of our morning gathering. So we will reconvene at 11:15 Pacific Standard Time. And if you wanted to have your water ready, extremely helpful.
Oh, come on. Come on.